Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Phil Mackintosh, Chief Economist at Nasdaq, to discuss employment data and the election. And Phil, let's start with the data from this morning. The headline number was better than expected, but I think when you look below the surface, there appears to be a little bit of churn with jobs.
Yeah, the numbers got better because California has been working on their systems and they came in with a whole lot of extra data. But the numbers were better, and I think that's one thing. What I'm reading, it's compelling that there's about $100,000 people improvement in jobless. But then what everybody turns to is the fact that we've got this second wave that's really starting to fire up. When you look at how Wisconsin's unemployment or new claims has tracked the new cases, it doesn't look good for the future. And I mean, really, when you look at the recovery in unemployment claims, we had the huge spike in April. We got back to sort of, I guess, a lot better or a lot less bad levels by pretty much in June, but then we've been going sideways. And in reality, the number that we got today was still way above the old-fashioned normal. So we still have a lot of new claims every month, and we have, as we talked about recently, more and more long-term unemployed starting to hit the tape as well. So I think with the outlook for coronavirus picking up, it's not great in the future, even though this print was actually a relatively good print. Again, a positive surprise.
And so when we talk about volatility in the election, of course, 2020 has been a year of a lot of unprecedented things, the election certainly notwithstanding. Volatility around elections is normal, though.
Yeah, it's a period of uncertainty, and things could change, and things could change a lot, and different sectors could benefit, and different parts of the economy could do worse. And so typically around an election, you see the expected volatility, which is measured in options prices out 30 days or the VIX, sort of a month or two early starts to pick up. And it goes up roughly about 50% on average in that period. And then it actually comes back down over the next 3 months. So that's what normally happens. But of course, this year is not normal. And we've had coronavirus and we've had vaccine news, but we've also got a potentially contested election. So the VIX this year, you can't really tell how much of the elevated VIX, and it's about double normal already, is because of coronavirus risks and uncertainties and the GDP and the unemployment numbers we just talked about, and how much of it is because of the election. But both of them are probably contributing to the elevated VIX, and they may contribute to an elevated VIX for a few months after the election too.
All right. And if we take a look at our last couple of charts here, courtesy of Sober Look, one of my favorite handles, and we're taking a look at the interesting how many votes have already been cast. And of course, Biden's campaign, that war chest, is certainly allocating those funds on ads, that's for sure.
Yeah, so if we look at the votes that are cast earlier, there's reportedly a third of normal, basically, votes, or a third of the level from 2016 has already been cast early. So that's pretty phenomenal, given that we've still got almost 2 weeks to go. It's also interesting to see the states that are reporting early. It's a lot of those Midwest states and the sort of South states that are typically red states. So even though there's probably a political bias that says Republicans vote on the day of, there's a lot of early voting coming through some of their classic states. And then if you look at where the election spending is you're right, the data shows that Biden's got a bigger war chest than Trump, and you can pretty much see from that map where the contested states are, because you can see where the money's being spent, and it's pretty focused on those swing states, those important states for Senate races, the important states for who gets to be president as well.
All right, Phil, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jill.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.